So there are a number of things you can do to reduce your average cost per click. Reducing cost per click has a number of benefits, and one of them is it reduces your overall spend in AdWords, especially if you have a limited budget and you're reaching that budget on a consistent um, level. You may want to reduce your average CPC and thereby increase your total clicks and impressions. So there are times when it's necessary to reduce that average cost per click. And if you're finding that your ads are really coming up at the top of the search results, and you found that even a lower position would get you a better return on investment, then reducing your average CPC is one way to do that. And the first thing you can do to reduce your CPC is quite an obvious one, and that's to reduce your bids. So if you're using a manual CPC bid strategy, you can reduce this manually. So for each keyword in your campaign or ad group, you can click on it and then easily change this to whatever you want. So you may want to change that to £10 and save it, for example. So that is an easy way to reduce your average CPC. What you're likely to see then going forward is your positions drop slightly, especially if they were coming up at the top, and you're likely, perhaps depending on what's taking place in the account, you may see a drop in clicks because you've lost those positions, and probably a drop in your average cost, your average click-through rate as well. So that's the first and the most obvious way to reduce your average CPC. Another way is to work on your quality scores. Now, this obviously takes a lot more time. Quality scores are an important factor in your account, and improving them is takes some time, and it's more of a long-term strategy. So when I look at the quality scores on this, for example, this keyword, it's 5 out of 10. And if I want to improve this, I would work on the expected click-through rate, which is below average, and perhaps the landing page experience. So improving those quality scores um, helps you to spend less for the positions that you want, because your ads become more relevant. So it's something you should constantly work on and improve those scores for all of your keywords actually. And these three factors, expected click-through rate, ad relevance, and landing page experience, are the ones that determine your quality scores. Now, a third way to reduce your average cost per click is by going into your settings and maybe changing the bid strategy. Now, if you have a manual bid strategy, for example, and you want to change it to an automated one, you would normally do that in your settings, in your campaign settings. And if you find, for example, that manual CPC is taking up a lot of your time, you can change it to an automated strategy and then put a bid cap. So, for example, you could go over here. This is a manual CPC strategy. So I can change this to an automated one, like maximize clicks, for example, and then change that to maybe say, I want to get as many clicks as possible, but I also want to put a cap on it. So I'll put £1. So that's going to reduce your average CPCs and you drop it down to an acceptable level. Also, if you're running an automated strategy, you may want to change it to a manual one to have more control over the bids for your various keywords and ad groups. But bear in mind that it's going to take up a lot more time, because manual CPC is something you need to change on your own based on performance. It's unlike the automated strategies that you see in AdWords, which do a lot of the work for you. So there's two main types of bid strategies. Really, it's the automated and the manual, and the automated is about 7 in total, and the manual CPC is 1. So it just depends on what you're running. If you're running automated, maybe change it to a manual, then reduce your CPC bids, and maybe even use bid modifiers and reduce it for your devices and your locations.